She went from being an ordinary island girl to a superhero. Let's get into the video and find out who is Wave. Pearl Pongon was born and raised on Mactan Island in the Philippines. Pearl had a natural talent for swimming. She began competing in and winning numerous swimming competitions, showing Olympic-level talent. But everyday life would get in the way of her Olympic dreams, and she would end up working at the local Fry King. Then one day, while Pearl was at work, she was approached by a lady representing a company called Alantech. The company was conducting studies on peak human performance in the water and was looking for a swimmer. They had learned of Pearl's swimming talents and were there offering her a job. Of course, Pearl accepted. Pearl really enjoyed the job and the good pay that came with it, but things were not what they seemed. Pearl was unaware that Alantech was part of a shady organization that was conducting the studies for nefarious reasons, but she would soon find out. One day, as Pearl finished up, the facility was raided by the Triumph Division, a group of heroes protecting Southeast Asia. During the raid, Pearl was accidentally exposed to an unknown energy and soon discovered she had the ability of hydrokinesis. She used her new abilities to try and hold off what she thought to be intruders, but her novice powers were no match for the Triumph Division. When the raid was done, the Triumph Division explained to Pearl that the company she was working for was a front for a criminal organization. The Triumph Division took in Pearl and taught her to use her new abilities. Pearl became a member of the team, going by the codename of Wave. Later, while serving as a member of the Triumph Division, Wave could sense something wrong in the waters well outside of her jurisdiction and went to investigate. When she arrived to the area, she ran into Arrow, another hero who had sensed the same disturbance via the wind. They could sense something under the water, and Wave parted the water to see what it was. Just as she did, a volcanic island burst out of the water, and the two heroes were attacked by the Queen of the Cinder and her soldiers. The Queen of the Cinder had sensed their elemental powers and tricked the two heroes away from the cities they were assigned to protect. Wave and Arrow were rescued by Tutu Pele, and the trio traveled to Shanghai, where they joined Swordmaster in fighting the Cinder. The heroes were able to hold off the Cinder and they began to retreat. Wave and her new friends were then recruited by Jimmy Woo to ally with his new agents of Atlas to defeat the Cinder. After the Queen of the Cinder was defeated, Wave headed back to the Triumph Division, only to find out she had been dismissed from the team for abandoning her post. Arrow came to comfort Wave, and as the two talked, Red Feather, the leader of the Triumph Division, showed up to reclaim the retractable blades and armor they had issued to her. Arrow tried to defend Wave by telling him she had been with her and the new agents of Atlas fighting the Cinder, but it didn't help. Wave felt she had earned the blades and the armor and refused to give them back, forcing Red Feather to take them by force. Red Feather easily took the blades and told Wave she could get them back when she was ready. The pissed off Wave went to attack Red Feather, but Arrow intervened and used her powers to keep Wave from escalating the situation. Wave then headed home to Mactan Island, and Arrow accompanied her. They were only there briefly when Wave came up with the idea to take down Alantech to set things right with the Triumph Division. Wave convinced Arrow to join her, and they set out to take down Alantech. Wave and Arrow were able to track down Dr. Ramos, the doctor who had been in charge of the Alantech facility Wave had worked at. They questioned the doctor about the leader of Alantech, but she didn't know who it was. Then, through a series of events, they would come to learn that the mastermind behind Alantech was none other than Reyna Sirena, the Queen of the Mermaids. Wave, with the help of Arrow and some newfound friends, destroyed the Alantech headquarters, but Reyna was able to escape. Wave then returned to the Triumph Division and gave them a full report on Alantech. Her actions earned her Red Feather's trust, and he returned her blades. He offered Wave the opportunity to rejoin the Triumph Division, but Wave turned down the offer. She instead returned to the Agents of Atlas. Later, when the Guardian Dragon of Atlantis was taken by people from the surface, Namor threatened to destroy the surface world. Wave was part of a small contingent of the Agents of Atlas that were sent to Atlantis on a diplomatic mission. Upon arriving in Atlantis, Wave was shocked to find out she was known by Namor and the people of Atlantis. She learned that the Sirenas were the sworn enemies of the Atlanteans, and her defeat of their queen had made her a hero to the people of Atlantis. Wave continues to adventure in the Marvel Universe as a member of the Agents of Atlas. Wave has the power of hydrokinesis, the ability to control water with her mind. She can use that power to form water into shields, shoot it in the form of concussive blast, and form large waves. Wave can propel herself through the water at high speeds and is able to breathe underwater. She wields 2 high-tech blades and wears high-tech armor. Well, that's the origin of the Marvel character Wave. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out this video. Please smash that like button and drop a comment down below. It really helps out the channel. That does it for this video. We'll see you again real soon, but until then, I'm gone. Peace.